welcome to the June Shares a Waffle Great British Mickey Waffle podcast. So tonight I'm not alone. I'm joined by Becca.
Hello.
John.
Hiya.
Claire.
Hi Ben, how are you?
I'm very well, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
And someone from across the pond, Jason Canapp.
Well, hello.
Who invited him?
I know, he's back again. Back again.
I feel so welcome.
Can't stay away.
It's good to have you back on the show again, Jason.
Thank you, John. It's always nice to see you, buddy.
It's always good fun to have you on here as well. So
thank you.
We never know how the show's going to turn out.
No, that's the other side. That's the other side to it as well, isn't it? There's no difference there than a normal.
I'm going to be on my best
podcast.
Behavior today.
Excellent. There we go.
So, Claire, you're just recently back from a very short trip to Walt Disney World.
I am. I was there in May for 5 nights.
Oh, okay. So, any reason why you did such a short trip compared to normal? Or
So I went on my own, which is the first time I've ever travelled solo anywhere. I've never been to a Disney park on my own. I've done with a friend, just 2 adults together. But the rest of the time, I've only ever been with family. And I've never flown on my own anywhere. So yeah, I did a solo trip for the first time. It was very exciting. 5 nights is absolutely not long enough if anyone's thinking of going for a short period of time. Definitely not long enough. And I can't wait to go back.
And it's a totally different experience just going for such a short time. So, first question: how did you cope with the sort of the jet lag part of it? Because I know that to me, I get up dead early for the first 10 days of a trip to Disney. So, and it's great. It's that experience. You get up so early, but then you tend to fade as the day goes on. How did you cope with that? That must have been a real challenge.
So for me, on my own, actually, I found it not so bad. So I got there about 3:30 on the Thursday that I arrived, and I didn't go to bed until 1:30 in the morning US time.
Yeah.
how?
I somehow...
I think it might be our guest's fault.
Oh, well, you don't close your eyes.
Nice.
So what I've worked out is if you're entertained sufficiently, you don't get tired.
Yeah.
So actually I arrived, I picked up my car from the airport. I was so proud of myself because I managed to do the whole the girl at the Avis desk clearly just looked in my eyes and thought, I'm not even going to try. Because I was like, just give me the car, I need to go. And she was like, no, I'm not even going to try and upsell. So I got in the car and I managed to use Waze and drive my way down something that's called an expressway, which is not express in any way, ironically named road, and got myself to Coronado, staying at Gran Destino Tower. And about an hour after I arrived, Jason arrived to pick me up and we went into EPCOT. So
But you need to back up.
Oh, okay.
Because because I think this is a little overwhelming. She flies in midday, like mid-afternoon.
Yeah.
And at this point, I'm expecting she has to get her bags because she's got like 600 pounds of bags with her, right? And she's going to have to collect her bags. She's going to have to navigate the rental car desk situation. She's going to have to then go to the car, figure all that out. It's going to take her 16 hours to figure out which car she wants, probably. And then she's going to get out into the road and she has to figure out where she's going, do all of that, right? I expected this was going to be a 3-hour process for her. Oh, not to mention customs.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I didn't mention that.
Right. So but just to kind of like I'm gonna spoil the end of this. She texts that she's at Gran Destino her flight got in at 3. I know you say half past, whatever. I don't know, 3:30ish, something like that. She's at Gran Destino before 5 p.m. somehow.
Yeah.
Like
I don't mess about.
I don't customs is that quick when we're going.
Yeah.
There was, so Becca, can I just say, the customs hall was empty.
Wow.
I need an empty customs hall.
But the immigration officer was still rude.
No change there. Welcome to Orlando.
Yeah,
she doesn't make sense.
He was so grumpy.
He was bored.
Well, so I was flying business, so I we got off the plane quickly.
Yeah.
I
Tell
was
them your
about-
answers. Tell them your answers. This is great.
So I got off the plane and we walked. I walked quickly to the immigration hall. Literally walked through, and I expected to see half full. No, straight to the front. I was the third person to go through. And of course, I got quizzed. I didn't expect to get quizzed. I'm not normally quizzed, but I'm a woman on my own, and they wanted to know how much money I've got in my cash, who's meeting me, is anyone meeting me, where am I going, why am I there? You know.
And tell them what your answers were.
So I said I was there as a tourist on holiday. Was anyone meeting me? No.
Where? Like what?
Because it looks weird.
It looks weird to say no. Oh, I'm here all by myself.
Yeah, to visit Mickey.
I got all these biscuits in my bag just for me. I swear I'm not going to try to sell these or anything.
I brought all this
I
tea.
know, like his bags of tea.
Yeah.
He'd asked me if I was bringing in any food or anything, and I just no. You don't need to declare
What if
tea.
he opened your bag and says, what if
But
you
he
open your bag and
didn't
says,
open my
and you're like,
bag.
oh, you mean this?
Yes.
He was never going to open my bag.
If in doubt, say
But
yes.
there is a tea is a drink, it's not food.
Exactly. He's never going to open my bag.
So you did not tell the full truth about meeting people, but you completely lied about having food in your bag, which was discoverable.
Biscuits. It's just biscuits and chocolate. No one.
That's not the food they're interested in, is it?
They're not. No, not at all.
But that's
And
what you say, though. I've got biscuits and tea.
I've not got the food you're
I'm
interested in.
British.
Yeah.
What do you
food.
expect?
I'm here for
in a
5
room?
days. I've got a case full of biscuits and tea.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did move quickly. I had to wait a while for my bag, but then after that, it was like on a mission. And yeah, the lady at the Avis desk didn't even try and upsell. Obviously, had that look in my eye. So yeah, I got to Gran Destino, and then very kindly Jason came and picked me up, and we went off to EPCOT.
Fabulous.
And then
Where I was very lucky because I got to participate in one of the many shows that he is part of, which is After Hours, which is on every Thursday evening with his friends Carlos and Colin.
And guess where we started?
Yeah, somewhere that I just spent 10 hours travelling to get away from. Let's start in the UK pavilion.
So I had Claire give us a tour
You did.
of her home. Like,
Uh-huh.
tell us about your land.
Yes. So
And
we
then-
did have a little mooch around the UK pavilion.
And then we stayed and we saw Harmonious.
We did see Harmonious.
Now, what did you make?
Yeah,
of
you've
Harmonious?
been giving us
that's-
your opinion of this.
Yeah,
yet.
and I'm intrigued.
I know
in
what
this
it
because
is.
I know
Are you- are
you're a
you?
really good, big fan of Illumination. So
I was.
I'm hearing this for the first time. So
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
genuinely intrigued as to what your reaction was.
Well, wait. But I got to set this up first, though, because like, in all fairness, we were sort of hustled to the closest spot we could reasonably find.
Yeah.
That gave Claire this like a fighting chance.
Yeah.
And by fighting, I mean jumping chance
Yes.
at seeing anything, because
Yeah.
I found the spot between the American Adventure and the Japan Pavilion, and I thought it was fine. And then I realized about 2 or 3 minutes into it, she can't see a thing,
Oh no!
not a thing.
No.
And I said to her, are you able to see anything? Oh yeah, this is good. Because she's British. So of course she's good. Oh, this is fine.
I saw sufficient.
So when she's describing Harmonious and she's explaining how she feels about it, that has to play into.
See, so far, anyone that I know that loved Illuminations doesn't like Harmonious, but people who didn't like Illuminations as much loves Harmonious.
Okay.
That's currently how.
Loves is a strong word.
Right.
Okay.
I'm gonna be really honest here. I think I didn't hate Harmonious as much as I thought I would.
Okay.
What I do hate is the Stargate and the tacos
Yes.
that create the whole thing. So I think had they not been there, and the show had been something that happened without them being permanently in the middle of World Showcase Lagoon,
Yeah.
I would feel very differently about it. But I don't, because they're there and they're there all day, and it doesn't matter whether it's day or night. They are stuck in the middle and they are an eyesore. There is no other way of putting it. The whole show, there were bits of it that I quite liked. So the Mulan section and the Coco section are good. I think they missed a trick. There's some beautiful fireworks that come down sort of like stars falling, and I think they could have put Rapunzel in there. I think that would have been a really nice bit with Rapunzel and Flynn projections. There's some interesting fireworks towards the end. And then, of course, we were stood, the perfect spot that Jason had chosen between the American Adventure and Japan was right behind the Scud missile launcher.
Okay, first of all, they're not Scuds. They're more like Patriot missiles. They're purely for defense.
It is this huge, great big cannon.
We like to call them Patriot missiles over here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. But of course, meant it, at the end of the show, when all of these things go off around World Showcase, we just got this enormous
smoke
boom every 2 seconds with smoke, and then the
Welcome
smell of
to
sulfur.
America.
It was great. Yeah.
I remember watching the live stream, and just every time one went off, I just saw the camera move.
That's me flinching.
What you can see was me giggling, though. That's the thing. I was in stitches. It was so funny. You know what? I think as a show, it isn't as awful as. So when it first started, and that transition from Illuminations to Epcot Forever to Harmonious, everyone was really excited for something special for Harmonious because it had been built up. And actually what they got is this kind of thing that's there that doesn't really relate to Epcot, and it trying to use things that are relevant to now. So actually children now are picking out, the films that they know. I'm
like
not sure
Hunchback?
Hunchback's an amazing film.
But the children of today
has a slight undercurrent that may not be palatable. I watched it with Millie, and I was watching it and going, oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm watching this with you. But I think it's well produced. I think it's in the wrong place. It's certainly the permanence of the equipment ruins World Showcase for me. Yeah. And that's more important than the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the park-like really atmosphere's gone.
Yeah, I'm really fearful for that when I go back again. Because having experienced it with just Illuminations and having that, it's the most beautiful outlook.
It's not now.
During the day, you just get that whole view across the lake. And to have that completely spoiled, it's just going to
You do get the view across the lake, John, but you have to angle yourself so you're looking straight through the middle of the Stargate. And there's about 2 spots that you can do it.
Yeah, and you're waiting for Thanos to walk through.
And Claire brings up an important point, and this, I think, is logistically important for people. So, number one, the question is going to be, where's the best location to watch the show?
Mm. Yeah.
Because if you thought Illuminations had some restrictions around like where you needed to be because of the pyro and so forth, this takes it to another level. This is you have to really be prepared for this. Essentially, you're going to be looking for some space from Italy over to Japan if you're on that side of World Showcase, and on the other side of World Showcase Lagoon, you're going to be looking for a spot between Canada and Mexico. Yep. Anything else is going to give you an oblique view of the central circular monstrosity where the main projections are located. So you have to figure that in, because you will miss half the show if you don't factor that in.
Yeah.
And related to that, and I pointed this out to Claire. You remember where the like some of the best spots for the dessert parties used to be?
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the one they have at International Gateway, below the bridge there between France and the UK? They still use that as a premier dessert party area, or whatever kind of party you're having, I guess. They also you can still pay to get the pontoon boat and bring those in from Crescent Lake and have a special viewing location, right? Don't do that. It's terrible. Yeah. You won't see it. You're literally staring at the side of the circular projection thing, so you won't see most of the show.
It's horrendous.
It's important to know that. So the spots you used to think were good are not are not good
Yeah.
anymore.
I was gobsmacked at how bad the angle was from that point.
Yeah,
You just wouldn't see anything.
we saw it twice, and we were both. What was it?
Both times we were.
Between Italy and Mexico. No, sorry.
No,
Between
we were
Canada
pretty
and
much
Mexico.
at port of entry.
Yeah.
Both times.
Yeah, if you're right, if you're by that port of entry area, and you need to get there early if you want that prime spot. The show was really designed to be watched from that spot.
Yeah.
Period. Right. So if you want to watch it as it was intended, as it was designed to be seen, you need to get there probably an hour ahead of time.
And does that have an impact on sort of crowd levels in that area as well? Because that was one of the good things about Illuminations. If you didn't like to be in that sort of the big congregated crowd, you could always find a really good spot around the lake, and again, if you knew which direction the wind was blowing.
Oh, you and your wind map.
Exactly.
John and his wind predictor.
The wind prediction.
Oh, I never
map.
thought about using that. That's brilliant.
yeah.
It was superb. But it's
John.
It's not relevant anymore, is it? So
no, it is.
basically, you basically watch. You basically now
You can obliterate all of Harmonious if you try really well.
Just need to aim ever so slightly at the.
Yeah.
Just.
No,
It's not. I mean, the show's not. It is a spectacular show. Like so. The technology and the pyro's good, and it's fun, and some of the music's real. And it opens with Moana, so you got me at Moana, right? But just so okay. So the good barometer to judge, I think, how good the show is for the children. Michelle's niece, my wife's niece, who was there a week ago, and saw this show, and they saw it from the prime location. About 30 seconds in or so, she said something like, I can't remember the exact words, but something like, this isn't as good as the fireworks. And she was referencing Enchantment over at Magic Kingdom. Like, this isn't as good as the fireworks. It's 5 years old.
Listen to the kids; they know what they're talking about.
Yeah, so it's a good show. It's worth seeing at least once. But it's no Illuminations.
I was in no rush to hang around and see it again when we were back in Epcot later in the weekend, John. Put it like that.
Really? Mm-hmm. Oh, see, and that sums it up, really, doesn't it?
And I think for me it is about the destruction of the sightline across World Showcase Lagoon. That
it's fine if you go there in the evening and just you haven't seen the park during the day. So, but to go there for the fireworks, then you don't know it. But the thing
you don't see the lights. You can't look across the lagoon and see the lights in the other countries. It just isn't available sightline anymore.
Yeah.
It's just a shame they weren't able to, like with Illuminations, bring things in for
they
a show
could have done.
and then.
They could have done. The bridge still goes up.
Yeah,
That's true.
So then what do we do after? Because this was still at this point. It's just what 9:30.
Yeah.
9:45, maybe 10. By the time we got out of there, it was probably 10 o'clock.
I was surprised I was still awake, but
I think it's the bombs, the missiles.
Yeah, I think it probably was. So we then went back to Coronado Springs.
No, we did not.
What did we do? What have I forgotten?
You forgot your lesson. Yes.
On the way back to Coronado Springs,
I deliberately let the tank in my car go low, but I would have to stop and get petrol on the way over because she was so anxious about.
I really was.
Yeah,
I was.
It's like, so we're gonna do a lesson. We're gonna give you a lesson here.
So yes, I was very fortunate. My anxiety about filling the car up with fuel, Jason very kindly took me to the garage, the Speedway garage, his favourite garage. Why is it your favourite garage, Jason?
You don't have to touch anything, and you don't have to talk to anybody.
You don't have to talk to anyone, and it has gloves.
That's
gloves.
perfect.
Gloves, Ben. Gloves. And you
you,
can use the tap. You can use your watch, or you can tap your card. And
Contactless at a petrol station.
It is contactless.
No.
It's fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah. And so he taught me how to use all that, so I could then fill my car up later on in the trip. So I had a petrol filling lesson on.
You didn't fill a car up, I don't think, later in the trip. But
I did.
You did?
I did.
Oh, I didn't know. You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I did. I went and I used that particular petrol station, and I used contactless, and
And you didn't have to go inside?
No. So it was a success. It was a good lesson. I managed okay.
Then we
And
went to
actually-
Gran Destino.
Yeah.
Then we went
Sorry,
back to
sorry,
Gran
go ahead.
Actually, Claire, that takes us back to probably one of the first. Certainly, I think that's one of the first 10 or 12 podcasts we actually did, and you spoke about that, how you always made Dan
Dan
was
fill the car
always
up.
the
Yeah,
one
absolutely.
who goes and fills the car up.
Absolutely.
So that's again just another little learning point, another little hurdle over with on
Yeah.
the solo.
He's going to
trip
make you
like
do it
that.
next time.
No, he won't have to go in. He's going to say, show me, so I don't have to go inside.
Yep.
It's great.
Yeah.
Or he
but
may
yeah,
make you
The
do
other
it. That's
problem with
actually
that,
better.
though, Claire,
Get out
if you don't get to go inside, what happens when you go to the Wawa?
I've never been to a Wawa, John.
Petrol. The whole fun of going there is to go to the shop. There's just so much
Get the-
stuff in
the
there.
gallon
and then
of
inevitably you gallon of slushy. That's it.
I've never been to a Wawa. Still not been to a Wawa.
Shuts the kids up for half an hour while they get brain freeze, and then
And then they need the bathroom.
The E numbers from the colourants kick in, so the kids are going absolutely hyper by the time you get back to the villa, and so they're in the pool, and you just shut the
pour a
door,
beer
shut the
and
door,
go,
just let
"I'm
them
done."
just get it all out the system. Yeah,
Brilliant.
too many. Was it E102s? I think it was. That make them
Oh
go.
my goodness.
Yeah, they're not
knows?
banned. They're not banned in the States. Yeah.
No.
So anyway, you went to Gran Destino Tower.
We did.
Do tell.
So we got back to Gran Destino, and we had a bit of an issue getting in the wait list for Three Bridges on the way
No
back.
issue. There's just Three Bridges Bar
Yeah.
and Grill
Uh-huh.
is a wonderful restaurant. And it is I think it's technically considered like a lounge, but it's a restaurant. But you cannot make an ADR there. There's only a wait. So there's only so you can either go up to the person at the desk there, or you can do it from your app. But you have to be within a certain distance. There's like a geofencing of some sort around this, so you have to be within a certain distance to be able to do it. And so we began to try, because sometimes it's like a 45-minute wait or so. So we began to try from EPCOT all the way, and from the petrol place all the way there. We were trying.
Way.
We were like in the parking lot by the time we
way.
were able to.
So all the way from Epcot to Gran Destino, I'm there on my phone, banging away, trying to get onto the... I managed
I
it.
may have been pressuring her a little bit.
I managed it. It was okay. And it was a 20-minute wait, which was fine. So by the time I'd actually walked around to Three Bridges, and it was fine. It's not a problem. And we had a good table.
No, we didn't. There was nothing good about that table.
I had a great seat.
Where
She had a
did you
good view
sit?
because I gave her the view. I said, "Here, you take that seat."
So I went round to sit facing the wall. Actually,
What's
and
that
you
table right where you walk in? It's like, when you walk into a restaurant and you're like, we're going to walk around the restaurant. And you're going to get a little tour. You're going to see things. You walk in, and as soon as we walk in, and here you go. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we got to walk around the restaurant.
It's
when
right
we went
there.
To our table.
Yeah,
like the seat was right. It's like, and let me walk you to your seat.
Oh, we're
Here you go. Like, you could have just pointed to it. You didn't need to walk me there.
So I was polite. I went around the other side of the table, and I was about to sit down. And Jackson said, "No, you come and sit here, so you can see out across the lake, and you can see the tower and all of that." I said, "Okay, that's fine. Thank you very much." So we swapped seats.
Biggest mistake.
Yeah, I'm so glad we swapped seats.
Like,
So I had this gorgeous view,
Yeah, she's
and
got a great view.
we had some really good food.
We got the corn dip,
We got the corn dip.
which is a plant-based dish, because it's corn.
It had like
and it's
pimento across the top, and
delicious.
Oh my goodness! Did you get that when you were there, Ben?
No, I can't remember what we had.
Ben.
Why didn't you have it?
Because all I know, Carlos was ordering everything for us.
You can't let a Brazilian order for you
I
in
know.
that place.
It was the guacamole
Yeah.
dip thing, which was actually really nice.
So you have had avocados.
See, I didn't know that
He's
until...
lying. He just didn't know that guacamole
was
had
and it's
avocado.
delicious, isn't it?
It is. It's
is.
really nice. I didn't think I was going to like
Praise
it.
the Lord.
But-
Yes, it's delicious.
It's not nice in a margarita. I can tell you that much.
Doesn't belong in the margarita.
Is that the macabra
Was that
tequila?
the thing we had a...
Yeah, it's nice.
Oh, I didn't know that was.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
I just get given food and drink. I don't know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
that's what
so-
you got bought for you. I
Yes.
saw you with those,
Oh.
and they're not good.
They were
No.
not. It was not nice.
No, not at all.
So we had the corn dip,
Yeah.
and then we
Man.
had the curry hummus.
Was it
Which-
called curry? It was not called curry hummus.
I think it was called curry.
No, I don't
hummus.
think so. We're going to look it up. You keep
We're
talking
gonna
about
look it
hummus.
up.
That's all right.
So this stuff, the flavors through this hummus was incredible. There was cardamom and curry, and it was just so good. And it came with like some naan bread, and then I don't know if you guys have had like the Spanish torta de almondes. They're like the crisp breads, which have almost got like a sugar glaze on them. It's got like fennel seed through it, and a little
It's
bit
called
of
curry hummus.
Yeah, curry hummus.
like star anise flavour through it.
That's right.
Sounds nice.
They call
They
them
were-
crackers on the menu.
Yeah, they were
Naan
good.
bread and crackers.
But these
When you
things,
call them American crackers, they're expecting like a Ritz cracker or a saltine.
saltine or something.
This is nothing like that. This is
But they're
delicious.
amazing, and we can buy them here. They've got them in
She
lots of-
says, "Oh, I think I had these at home." Like, you know what?
There's some sitting on top of the cupboard.
That's what she said. I could have brought you some. Oh, could you?
Yeah. And that hummus was incredible.
It was amazing. It was so good that we forgot about the corn dip.
I know. It was like, which bit? do
I
eat
felt
first?
bad. It's like you have a child, and then you have a second child, and the second child's amazing, and you're like, oh yeah, we have another child.
Yeah. I felt I was cheating on the corn dip with the hummus.
Oh,
And
don't
I
worry,
also-
corn dip. We'll eat you too.
Yeah. And then I had a vegan poke bowl, which had and I think Jason, you had the same thing, but you had some shrimp on yours, didn't you?
I had did I get the one? I got the one with the
I think
ginger
you got
shrimp.
the cold shrimp on the top.
Basmati rice, coconut milk, lime sauce, vegetable mealie,
Oh, it was good.
sriracha aioli, and grilled pineapple. And
It was
aioli's
really
in
good.
quotes because it's plant based.
It was so good, and you have
was
to
really
mix it
good.
really well.
Yeah. Well, I was
And it-
super hungry. At the end, I was very full.
Yeah, and we had a couple of drinks. So you had some gin thing, and I had
I had
some.
one drink.
A couple. There was two of us. We both had a drink.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's what people think I was.
No. And I had some vodka thing, which was fruity and sour at the same time, and very brightly coloured. But it was.
I won't make a comparison to any personalities.
But this was beautiful meal. It was a lovely evening. The lights were shining on the lake, and then Jason
Halfway,
says,
no, there was like halfway through.
halfway through the meal, Jason says,
Go ahead.
"I'm wet." His cushion on his chair, the chair that he swapped and gave that I was going to take. But no, you have the other chair so you can see out, was wet.
But it's that wetness. Like you're not sure. At first, you feel like it's just a little, like your cheeks are a little cool. You're like, just why? And then you think, oh no. But no, it's because that would be warm.
Yeah.
And so then it occurred to me, like, oh, the cushions. I've been here before. Not here specifically, but like, oh. And I said, the cushion's wet. So I swapped out the cushion for one from her side.
After I'd stopped laughing, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, no, I'm still laughing about it now, to be fair.
And then she says, well, hopefully this next one's absorbent.
It was really
And it
funny.
was, apparently, because I did feel dry by the time we were finished.
It was funny.
But
we
then
had-
we told the server, and she made it seem like, oh, yeah, that happens.
Yeah, she was very unbothered by the whole thing, to be honest.
I'm
with
wet.
you.
I got wet from the cushions. Oh, it has been raining. Like, we're inside. We're like under the roof.
We're
What do you store the cushions out in the rain?
Bring them in
weird,
when they're
wasn't
wet.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was really nice.
I
But
was
that's how you
so-
that's how you stay up. And I was hoping it would reset her. Like, okay, you keep her up late.
Yeah.
And then she'll go to
was
bed
great.
at normal time. And then
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
And then I woke up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
But it was fine, actually, because I
didn't tell me
dozed.
that.
I woke up at 4, and then, of course, the other thing that happens when you are on a different time zone is that when you wake up at 4 a.m., the rest of your friends and family in the UK are already awake and doing things.
Yeah.
So, like, emails are going ping, 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 and I've got messages coming through at 4 a.m. and it was just like, oh my God. So you look at one and then it's like, that's it, I'm in now.
Yeah.
So I spent about 20 minutes looking and checking stuff, and then I actually closed my phone and just went back to sleep for about 2 hours more. I think I got up eventually properly around 7. And my plan had been to go to Animal Kingdom early on Friday. Opening was at 8, but 7:30 or 7:30 and 7 o'clock for hotel guests. Yeah. And I thought, oh, it's fine. I'm going to drive there. I'm going to get there early and bang out Flight Passage before anyone else comes to the park. I was wrong. I got there about 8:15. And it was fine. I drove apart in somewhere, Peacock somewhere, and walked in, managed to overtake a few people walking in.
Such a surprise.
And I went and what did I do? I went and got a drink from Starbucks, and I went and joined the queue for the safari, which tends to be our traditional first attraction. And it's the longest queue for the safari that I've ever stood in.
60 minutes.
It was about that, yeah. About 60 minutes.
So you didn't use Genie Plus for...
I didn't. So the only day I used Genie Plus was for Magic Kingdom. I didn't buy it for any other day. So I stood in line for Safari. It said 60 minutes on the app and on the board. I reckon I was probably off the attraction in about 50. So it was about a 40-minute wait. I saw bits of that queue that I didn't know existed. I didn't know there was a whole bit on the left-hand side. I'd only ever been through the quick bit. And it was fine. It was a really nice attraction, as always, but it was really busy.
Yeah.
So offload was slow. And I had planned to scoot through and see the first celebration of the Festival of the Lion King show. Got to add the extra bit on the beginning. And I did manage to get there with about 3 minutes to spare, but it was full. So I then decided to have a walk over into Asia. I stopped and looked at the howler monkeys that were going for it. Had a walk around what I call the Pangani Forest Trail. It's the Maharaja Jungle Trek now. Yeah. Walked around there, and then I went and did Everest twice back to back, just for John. The single rider queue was brilliant. There was like 3 people in front of me both times. So the first time round I was in row 2. The second time round I was in the back row. Back row is absolutely the best. There's no question. Back to back comparison. Yep. I was so disappointed though. The store, when you come off the attraction, they've gutted it. They used to have the most unique merch in there.
It's
and
quite
now
generic.
You know what? It's like I conquered the Yeti t-shirts and plastic ice picks. It's not at all what it used to be.
Yeah.
And I was ready to spend money in there, thinking, I'll get they have like the first aid symbol and it's all gone. Not there.
Oh, what a shame.
And I forgot.
Do you think it'll come back? Maybe it'll come back.
I don't know. It just feels like the shop's really empty. So my guess is it was probably from COVID. They've emptied it out because it was so crowded. I forgot to pick up my memory maker pictures from the ride as well. So
maybe it's
somewhere
just because it was closed for that. I don't know what they did to the attraction. It's hard to know with the.
No, I don't know what they did.
Why it was closed for so long. But the store was closed too, and I expected that to get a makeover or something. But it just got emptied.
Still, it's just I was really disappointed. And then to add to my disappointment, I decided to go and watch Kite Tales.
That'll do it.
Did you get there for the were you there early?
So I was there for the pre-show.
The music.
And that was fine. And actually,
it's great.
at that point I was a little bit hungry, so I decided to ditch it and didn't actually watch the show.
Oh, you missed
But
them
they
all
was just
crashing.
Do you know what? The announcement about the fact that they are going to crash, I found quite interesting. Because obviously,
It's quite
what goes
positive.
up must come down.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I watched the pre-show, and then it was really hot actually. Sat there, so I decided I'd go and get some food, and then I'd catch the 12 o'clock celebration of the Festival of the Lion King. So went back down towards Africa, took some photos on the way. Went to the Kusafari Bakery, which is like the little window behind next to Dawa. And I had, oh my goodness, the potato hand pies, and they look like almost like an empanada, but they're filled with spiced potato and onion. They're plant-based, and they come with like a harissa dip and a coriander dip, which tasted very much like the ones you get with the bread service in Sanaa. And they were incredible. They were so tasty.
I've never had it.
I found a little secret corner around the back, and I sat
Yeah,
there,
I was
Billy No
slightly
Mates, eating my potato pies. They were so good, and they were just what I needed at that time. It was really hot, but they were great. And then I whipped around and saw Festival of Lion King.
Best show.
The previous iteration was the best show.
Yeah.
I was really sad. It was just didn't hit the mark at all. I felt it was a little bit heartless.
Yeah.
And that's not that the performers weren't brilliant. They were all outstanding. I can't understand why the two birds of paradise aren't allowed to touch each other still. You know, I'm crammed into this theatre with 500 other people that I don't know sat literally on top of me. Yeah. And yet the two performers in the middle, who are professionals, aren't allowed to touch each other. That makes no sense.
It's dramatic tension.
No, it's irritating.
Yeah.
And it's heart. It's a little bit heartless. I'm
just guessing they're waiting for the Tumble Monkeys this summer to bring it all back at the same time. That's my guess.
Maybe.
I missed the Tumble Monkeys.
I was really excited to see it, and I was like, "Yeah, it's my favourite show," and I was like, "This is not my favourite show."
Oh.
But hopefully in the future it will come back to what it was, and it will be better, and I'll see it again, and I'll fall in love with it again. But at that point, I was just like, I'm glad I didn't see it first thing in the morning, because I would have been deflated. But it was good. And then I walked up the nice little path to Pandora, which was very refreshing and calming, and took some nice photos near Nomad, and nipped around and got a Navi-sized pretzel and a night blossom from Pongu Pongu, which was my lunch. And I found a really quiet little corner that nobody else knew was there, and sat and ate them. It was good.
There's some places in Animal Kingdom where it's just, you can just hide yourself out of the way.
Yeah, I didn't do any other attractions. I walked around the back of the Tree of Life and the trails around there. And then I left about 1:30, 2 o'clock, I think it was, and drove off to go to the supermarket, which is like the most important thing. I went off to Publix at Celebration.
Gotta be done.
I didn't get your gaffer tape, John, I'm afraid. I didn't pick up your tape. But I picked up all the things that I needed. Tumble dry sheets. And
what's gaffer tape?
It's
gaffer tape. It's duct tape.
Okay.
Gaffer as in taping down microphones and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not as gaffer, as in Line of Duty.
Yeah, not as in
as the gaffer.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, John could pass for the gaffer.
Absolutely. Yeah. Call you Ted. Yeah, so I went to Publix, and then I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do after that. Jason and I were meeting for dinner later on, so I had a couple of hours to spare. So I decided to take a drive down into Celebration, and I went and had a seat round by the lakeside there where the rocking chairs are, and just had a chill out, took some photos. It was really nice, actually. It was very peaceful.
And how long did it take you to drive there?
Probably about 15 minutes. Did I go the wrong way 4 times? Yes.
Oh, you did. Oh, so that counts driving the wrong way?
Yeah.
Oh, see, it's close. It's worth a visit. I think if you have the time.
We've
it's
never
odd
been.
to visit if on a 5-day trip.
We've never had a car, so we've never really ventured out of Disney or Universal.
Yeah.
It's because I was trying to weigh up how. So this is Friday afternoon. I need to go up to the outlet at some point so I can go to Bath and Body Works. And I was trying to work out whether I could go up to the outlet at the top of iDrive Friday afternoon at that point, or if I'm going to spend half an hour getting there, an hour in the shop, and then 3 hours on the I4 trying to get back, probably. So I thought I'd just do something peaceful and relaxing. So I went and had a little walk around Celebration instead. And it's a really nice walk around the lake. There's a fountain. There's the Celebration Town Tavern, which is really nice if you want to have some lunch. It looked great, actually, and it was quite busy. It was a really beautiful afternoon. The clouds were stunning over the lake. So, yeah, it was just a moment of calm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a nice place to visit.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Definitely worth a walk around. And I think, Jason, on your show, you've been there, and you can hire bikes and stuff like that, can't you?
You can, and for real cheap. And there's boardwalks that you can't see them from the lake, but there's the walk around the lake, but then you can walk further out along these boardwalks through. It can only be described as a swamp, but it's not. You're not going to get like eaten alive by mosquitoes or anything during the day. But it's kind of a pretty nice little nature walk to do from the town square there.
And if you like ice cream, there's a really nice ice cream parlour by the fountain, which...
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
There's a cool little pet shop there as well, and candy shop.
It's nice. It was a nice little visit, and it was just nice. So then I drove back to the hotel. It was on the way back, I went the right way, and it took probably about 6 or 7 minutes to get back to Gran Destino. And then we went out for dinner. Jason came and picked me up, and we went over to Animal Kingdom Lodge, to Jumbo House, and we went to Gico, the cooking place. And,
the best restaurant on property. Currently.
I agree completely. Oh my goodness, I've never been to Gico.
And we started at the best lounge on property, which is still, in my opinion, the best lounge on property. Which is, do you remember the name of it? Cape Town Lounge.
Okay.
Cape Town Lounge. It's a tiny little. You won't even. You'll miss it if you don't actually go into the Gico space. You don't even know it's there. So it's a relatively small bar. There are there's some seats at the bar, which is where we sat, and then there's some small like cafe like tables there in the space. And the bartenders, some of the best bartenders on property, are there. They're great. Mike, Brian, fantastic. They have the largest selection of South African wine outside of South Africa. They have South African gin. I forget what it's called. Do you remember what it's called?
I can't remember what it was
amazing.
Wow.
But you can order off the full menu from Gico. That's one of the things that makes it so good, is that if you don't have an ADR for Gico, which is difficult to get, you can show up at the bar and have a full meal.
Might have to do that.
There's also
or we could just say there's an ADR available.
Yeah.
There's also this walk-up space inside the restaurant called the cooking place, and it's sort of like a chef's table feel to it, because it faces the kitchen, and that's a walk-up only. Also, you can't book that.
That's almost better than a table on the other side of the restaurant.
Yeah.
So I've heard Jason talk about Gico many times. I've not been there. I've been to Boma. I've been to Sonar. Honestly, this restaurant is incredible. It was so good. I mean, amazing. I would go back there every night.
Guess what she ate?
Oh wow. Go on,
So we cheated
What
a
did
little
you
bit.
eat?
We cheated a little bit because we ordered the entree, one of the entrees as an appetizer, because I think it really should be served as an appetizer. But why don't you describe it?
So there is a photo in the drive somewhere, Ben, that we could always share on the Waffles On. So it's called the Indira Basket. And I was like, what? The Indira is the bread. And I was trying to find out what sort of bread it is. And Jason's like, oh, it's like a spongy, stretchy
I don't know how to describe. No one's
pancake.
ever asked me to describe injera before. I'm like,
And it's an Ethiopian dish, so it comes like almost like an Indian thali. So it comes on a tray with different dishes, and then there's bread in the middle that's like all I can. It's really hard. It is really hard to describe. It's like a crepe that's been made with bicarbonate of soda, so it's puffed up a little bit, and it's stretchy. I described it as, you know, if you're trying to stick two pieces of carpet together and the stretchy matting stuff that you put on the back. It's a bit like that.
But Ben's scared now.
No,
But it tastes really nice.
as long as it doesn't taste of carpet tiles.
No, it doesn't. No,
Oh, it's delicious, and it's a sourdough.
Yeah,
base,
and it comes
right?
rolled up, and you sort of unroll it, and then you have the bits of the stuff from each of the little pots. You put it on bread.
Yeah,
Or
but
if you're Jason,
you're
just
supposed
shove your hand in.
You're supposed to. It's like you're just supposed to eat it with your hands. You're supposed to take the bread and kind of pinch it and eat it properly. She had a lot of trouble with that.
How did I do it?
Yeah, you used a fork.
Yeah, I did.
That's-
But
you tried it. Yeah, you
I
did it
did.
once.
I did.
She did it once. Yeah.
I struggled with that a little bit, but the food was incredible. I had some. I'm generally vegetarian, if not plant-based. I actually had some fish as a main course, and that was amazing. There was nothing bad about this meal at any point. That I cannot fault it.
Jason,
So-
would you say it's better now than it was pre-COVID?
No, I don't think it's. I don't think
they've just kept the level the same.
Yeah, it didn't. It didn't miss a beat. It's great. The menu's actually slightly pared down. The injera is an addition. That's new. There may be one other thing that's swapped out that's different.
You had the short rib, didn't you?
I did. It was my cheat. I eat red meat like once a month, so this was my cheat day, and I got the short rib.
And it looked great.
Except she, I get it. She says, I said they'd stick a bone in it. I think that's a short rib. Just, I don't know what to do with her.
The food was good. And afterwards
It was really delicious.
yeah, we were really full, like trying to walk to the car full. And then we got back to Gran Destino and we met up with some friends. Met up with Kelly and Bruce in Dahlia Lounge, which was my only trip to Dahlia, ridiculously.
Oh, really?
And I didn't even go out on the balcony because we were busy chatting. We did some gift exchanging. There was a lot of excitement. Kelly tried some Twiglets, which made us laugh.
We have it on video.
We do have a video of that.
Yeah. It's the expected reaction too.
It's in a big canister, like a big drum of them. Yeah. My brother and I, it's the first thing we buy for Christmas. It's really. Why are you? Okay, here we go. But Twiglets are incredible.
Kelly's first Twiglet.
Oh my God! Wait a minute. What is that afterwards? Wait a minute. What is that? That's really interesting.
Interesting's an interesting word.
Wait a minute. So then it goes away, and then it's back to the good cookie part. Okay, we're trying this again. Oh, that goes away again.
This is like that drink that they used to have at EPCOT.
Here we go.
Bruce will taste it.
Let me
See if I
see
can
him.
taste it or not.
This is a test of COVID.
Oh, garlic, baby.
Nothing bothers you.
You can't taste it. You can't taste it, right? It's just nothing.
Maybe a little bit
God
of garlic.
bless you.
Maybe a little bit of garlic or something like that. Onion, garlic. I can't taste.
I'm getting used to it.
They're amazing.
Oh, it's actually very good.
They're great. Do you need
Crunchy like a pretzel.
It was definitely fun, and we had a drink in Dahlia, and then it was sleep time. It was exhausting.
It was late. Yeah, it was late. It was, but it was that was
It
another
was a long
day.
day. It was a long day.
And then
About 6 hours later, we what was it? 8:30, something like
I
that.
don't know, some ungodly early time.
So a late breakfast then.
For me,
Late breakfast.
Late breakfast.
Just
went
the
for
word
breakfast.
breakfast is automatically early.
So Jason and I went
Yes.
for breakfast together, which was it was surprisingly good. So we went to Trattoria Al Forno at the Boardwalk. So what did we have?
What do you mean, what did we have? I had avocado toast, woman.
Oh yeah, so you did. I forgot about that. Oh my goodness, it was like everything I hate on a plate.
But it wasn't served properly. They ruined the avocado toast. Do you remember in Inside Out when they get to California and they order pizza and the pizza comes and has broccoli on it?
on pizza.
And then
Broccoli
I forget the
pizza.
character that, Anger what it says, nice going, San Francisco. Now you've ruined pizza.
Pizza.
But that's how I was
that
like,
was
a little
you. That's
anger
exactly
inside.
how you
I was
were.
like, nice going, Trattoria. Now you've ruined avocado toast.
Yeah, you had everything I hate on
Because
a plate.
avocado toast, it wasn't really even on toast. It wasn't toasted. It was the
It was
bread
on
was
like a
sort
piece of
split.
ciabatta, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it wasn't even toasted. And then it had, and then they put like then tomatoes and lettuce. It was just all constructed improperly too, because if you got, this is really going to bother Claire. Claire, if you want to tune out for a second, it's the tomatoes and the avocado are kind of slippery already. So like they're just it's like too slippy slidey to like hold together. It wasn't holding together, so I had to like deconstruct it, mash it.
Oh, no.
She's dying watching this. You got some kind. Didn't you get the frittata or something?
I did. I got the egg white frittata. So it was it was really good actually. Egg white frittata with spinach in it, and it came with some goat's cheese on the top. And it was so hot. You know, normally, Becca, you'll appreciate this. The food comes out tepid.
Yeah.
That's a bit of an issue. This was so hot. I mean, literally, I put my knife in it and it's like steam pouring out. I was like, oh my God, it's hot, which was a shock. And it came with a side of fresh fruit, which was like all the grapes in the world in a dish. And a few berries that had clearly been in the fridge because they had condensation.
She ate all of them.
I did okay on the fruit.
But she got to have the quintessential American experience.
Yes. Which just...
I warned her about.
Cope. Literally like 20 minutes earlier, Jason had said something about it. And then this woman does it right there in the restaurant.
Next to us. Mm-hmm.
So I'm eating. She was like, that looks good. What have you got? How's your food? I was like, don't talk to me. I don't know you. Why are you asking about my meal?
But you were so polite. You responded, like, oh, it's delicious. You carried on.
Honestly.
I was impressed. I was dying.
If that happened to me, I'd be going, okay,
away.
I'm just, I can't.
I was
laughing. I was dying.
I was at the point of cutting a bit and going, do you just want to try it? Here, have it.
I'm not even a fan when the servers come over and ask me how my food is.
No, don't interrupt me.
Yeah.
No, they come over before you eat it. How does? And then they notice. Oh, you
no
haven't
idea.
eaten it.
You haven't.
How does it look? How's it looking? It looks looking
how does the
fine.
food look?
It looks the same. You bought it to me 5 seconds ago.
Yeah. So yes, the whole house.
We had a very. Everyone was super nice to us. They said my name. That's the other weird thing when we came in. They said my name like 16 times. Like, okay, Jason. Hi, Jason. Oh, good morning, Jason. We'll show you to your table, Jason. Jason's a great name. They literally said Jason's a great name. Like, this is weird. It's like the end of Small World when you go by and they have your name on the signs. Like, it was like that.
It was really
all
weird.
Jason.
It's like the Scandinavian
really
magic band. They know who you are. So
and then we get to like, you've canceled reservations here many times. So I get maybe that's what it was. They're like, he's finally here.
That happened to us in Chef de France. I think we've booked it for every trip and we've cancelled every time.
Like, now's our chance. Now's our chance.
Okay.
So we have and our waitress. I don't remember her server. Sorry, I don't remember her name, but she was lovely,
Very sweet.
and very nice, and very attentive. Even the manager stopped by
She did.
and asked, "How's everything? You know, I hope you're having a lovely time." Yada yada. And then she says, "Let me know if there's anything I can do for you or something like that." And but she didn't give us any means to like reach out to her later. Like how to must have to flag you down. And then at some point, like they just stopped coming by.
Yeah. At the point where we were ready to pay and go.
We're like, we got people to meet at
vanished.
Epcot. Let's go.
Yep.
Everybody's gone.
Yeah.
But we did. It worked out.
Yeah.
So we walked around to Epcot, into the International Gateway.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to remember what we did first.
I showed you how to get through the new security things
You did.
without
You
getting
did.
stopped,
Yeah.
which is not a security
had-
breach before anybody judges. It's just that these contraptions, you're meant to be able to walk through with your bags
Yep.
without having your bags checked. But the trick is that you need to hold things away from your body, and if you have two things, you have to hold them sort
At
of away
different
from
heights.
each other so that they don't end up, I guess, having a certain level of density that gets
Yeah.
triggered, that triggers it. So
I
it
had a
worked, though.
metal, I had a metal water bottle in my bag, one of like the Chili's bottles, and the day before at Animal Kingdom they didn't like that,
Nice.
so
What?
I took it
you didn't
out
have it
of
with
my
you?
bag. Yeah, I did on Saturday. I did. I had it out.
Oh,
of my
so you
bag
held in your hand, right?
and held it in my hand separately,
Yep.
and that was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So now I know how to fill the car with fuel and get through security.
Problem
It was
I
all
have
successful.
is
You
You can tell Ben because every time he got stopped.
every single time. But even when it was all the battery packs that were in the bag. Every time I took them out, but because we have like 5 or 6 of them, I don't have enough hands.
Don't have any hands in there.
Yeah.
It's just it's gonna.
Give some
Imagine-
to Becca to carry.
I have
can
to carry
imagine
my
it
glasses
flags
case
so, doesn't
through.
it? Yeah. I can
Oh,
imagine
you've
that
got
flag
metal
so.
glasses case.
Amount of batteries, just
Yeah.
sort of attached
And
to
wires.
different yeah, it's just
Yeah,
it's
you can
very
understand why.
suspect, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then we got into Epcot, and oh yeah, I remember what we did first.
There was not a lot of pressure either. So before I get judged, All I said was, "Oh, this has such and such a weight," and you said, "Oh, well, let's do that." There was no cajoling. There was no arm twisting. There was no pleading or pressuring. It was okay. No, it didn't occur to me that maybe she's just being British. Maybe I'm now the person who's asking, "Oh, how's that? How's that taste?"
Yeah. So, John, you'll appreciate this. It wasn't until we're sitting on Soarin' and Jason saying to me, "Sit back, relax."
She's like,
why
she's
are you,
up in her front.
Why are you like
why are
this?
you so anxious? Lie back. I'm just like,
on
what
the handles. And I'm like,
I was rigid. I was so.
and I even did it proper.
scared.
I asked the cast member in the queue. I said, "Can we wait for the center portion because you don't want to see bendy Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
No one wants to see that." And so we got the proper spot, but
Prime
they
spot. Excellent.
put us
Yeah.
right, but they put us up at the top.
Oh,
So
God.
row one.
Becca, can I just say, on the way to
No.
walking to sit down, Jason says, "Are you sure you don't want to sit on the end?" No, I don't want to sit on the end because I don't want the sheer drop beside me.
I'm trying to be polite.
It's just.
And what else
I'm
did you
impressed
do?
you went on, Claire. That's it. That's
It doesn't stop there, John.
Oh, I did what I was told, clearly. I took my flip-flops off.
yeah.
Yes.
Did it barefoot.
Shoes off.
Which
Barefoot
apparently is the only
is
way to do it.
That's the right way to do it.
I'm never going to know any other way because I won't be
There's
doing it
nothing
again.
like having the wind
I've never done
between
it.
Between your toes.
Yeah,
That's because you usually wear trainers.
that's true.
So, yeah, I did do soaring. I jumped every transition. I sat bolt upright and rigid.
No, yeah, you find you. I think once we got elevated, she was like, "Oh no!" Like
Yeah.
then she's backing away. And the China, I knew this was going to be my favorite. My favorite part of the new Soren, which is not anywhere close to as good as the original Soren, is in the Great Wall of China. When you kind of make that dip, you kind of like
swoop.
swoop.
I
That's a good
love
way to
that
put
bit.
it.
Yeah.
There may have been an audible like.
I had children on the other side of me, and, and these
probably a
kids were
good
like,
thing.
"Yeah!" And I'm just like, I can't swear.
Oh no.
So yeah,
good.
and so we did that, and then we got in the line for Living with the Land. But
Oh, that's
one
much
of my
better.
favourite attractions. Yeah,
Yeah.
far more my bag. The line was quite long actually, and it's not a very nice line. It's switched back, and
No, it's not.
You're
No.
like face to face with COVID people
Yeah.
all the way.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy that very much at all.
COVID people.
Well,
They love you too, Claire. Yeah, that's it.
but it is. You are just constantly eyeballing people, and they're right there in your face, and
And
there's
the ceiling's really low as well, so you
Yeah.
actually do feel rather more enclosed than you do anywhere else in the whole.
And I can't imagine how much it would have been. Well, the plexiglass when it was there might
That
have
was
been
great.
might be much better actually.
Oh, so good.
Because you feel
And
a
the
bit,
6 feet between each person.
that would have been brilliant.
Oh, I would
Definitely.
pay so much extra money if they just brought that back.
Um,
Twice as much.
yeah, it was
Don't,
it was
hey,
quite a lot.
don't tempt
John,
Bob.
it's
Don't
so
tempt
nice.
Bob. Bob,
Like having
no.
6 feet of space and plexiglass, that is a dream.
The problem is
To have that without a pandemic, oh,
The problem is they just
best.
people just don't listen to it or look at the signs. They go, "Oh, okay," and it's just
Oh no, I'll
Yeah,
tell
close to
them.
you anyway.
The queue for the Living with Land was probably about half an hour. Would you say 30 minutes? Maybe a little bit
Time
more.
with you, Claire. It's but a blink of an eye.
But we rode. It was great. And yeah, then we went over to we did Spaceship Earth.
No.
Oh, you showed me
You
inside.
forgot. You forgot. We did Amazing Planet.
Oh, we did Amazing Planet. It was amazing.
is it really?
It's a
Because
good-
we've not done it yet.
Do it. It's a good film.
Do it once.
The last time we went in that room, I think it was the Timon and Pumbaa Circle of Life
Yeah.
thing.
Yes.
I hadn't done that, and I
But
was
the trick
dubious.
is make sure you're sitting. So just like on Soarin', you want to ask the cast member. You don't always get this depending on how busy they are, if they're like the customs person. You can ask them to sit in the center section because that's the section where things won't bend. And any spot in that section is fine. And then in Amazing Planet, it's free seating, which means organized anarchy. And so you remember it's America, so people don't listen to the
they're gonna
rules
push
when
you
they
out
say
of the
go
way.
across the.
Yeah.
It's So, but you want to stay up towards. I would say the upper section that's kind of divided up in stadium seating between upper and a lower section. Kind of the upper section with kind of about a third of the way back because of the effects, the lighting effects. And I know Claire noticed the effects a couple of times. She was like, oh, because you get these cool, like the Aurora Borealis. And like
It was very cool.
It's lost on you if you're down close to the.
It was much better than I expected.
Fine.
And then we walked around towards Spaceship Earth, and Jason showed me inside. I can't remember what's the restaurant? The
Connections.
Coral Reef restaurant.
Oh, Coral Reef. Oh, that's right. I took her inside the coral.
I'd never been in
she'd
there.
never been in. So I took
It's
her
very
inside.
cool.
And I
It's
said to the
very
cast
cool.
member, I said, I'm going to show her this space.
And
I was like, okay.
it was a really nice restaurant, and the way it's laid out, where you walk in and it's like sandy, and then you walk like you're going underwater. It's very good theming. I liked it.
It's
I've
similar
never
to getting on Nemo. You know, you kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even if you're not going to eat there, go and have a look. It's nice.
I have to do that.
And we walked around. We did Spaceship. We walked around the front of Spaceship Earth, so I could see the fountain. And sadly, that is the only time I got to the front of Spaceship Earth. We didn't get back there in the evening at any point, so I didn't manage to see beacons
that's
of
my
light and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Which I'm sad about.
That's a
But-
loss.
I didn't-
Beacons
I
of
didn't
Light's
like them.
better than Harmonious.
Yeah, that's
I
why
know that
it's that was a loss, and that was my fault for not. I should just put my foot down, and I didn't plan on streaming for After Hours the Harmonious show, and
alright.
then it kind of felt obligatory, didn't it, a little bit? Like
Yeah.
and I should have said no, so we could go up and see Beacons of Light, but.
It gives me a list of things to do when I go back, because I
Yeah,
didn't
for
ride
sure.
a monorail at any point either while I was there,
Wow.
which I can't believe. Not that I
And
haven't done that before, but
obviously now having done soaring, you can obviously do the Skyliner dead easy as well next
That's
time.
what I was saying.
I did not do the Skyliner at any
Don't
point.
do the Skyliner.
Skyliner
Don't say
is
it's
Trust me, don't do it.
Skyliner isn't as scary as Soarin'.
If you can do soaring, Claire, that's it, sorted.
I did not enjoy soaring. I may have been on it. I did not enjoy it.
You can you can keep your flip flops on for the Skyliner.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Don't do the Skyliner.
No. We did Spaceship Earth, and then we wandered around and had a look at the new Guardians building, which was quite cool. Obviously, couldn't go in it. I'm not lucky enough to have been able to ride it, where somebody else has. But yeah, it looks very cool, and I'm sure that we'll get there eventually.
Ben's gonna be here soon.
We had a look at the connections.
By the time the show goes
Cafe?
out, we would have been
Hopefully ridden
done
it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
The new
And again,
Connections
for-
Cafe, it's nice.
Yeah, again, for sake of spoilers and all that, go on, Jason. What is it like?
Well, I'm not. I mean, it's. I'll say it without spoiling it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, I went in really expecting to be a little underwhelmed, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
It doesn't belong in EPCOT, my own personal opinion, but it is, and so we just need to accept it. And the setup is cheesy in terms of like the why it's even there and that sort of thing. You're I mean, that part's not a spoiler. It's you're there to learn more about the planet that I can never remember the name of.
Xander.
Yeah, that's what she said. And so forth. And of course, surprise, a whole bunch of things go wrong, yada yada. But it's so good that the first time through, because I rode twice, the first time through, as soon as I'm in like the main meat of the attraction, I immediately thought, I kid you not, they need to gut Space Mountain and replace it with this.
Wow.
That's how good it is. It is like Space Mountain and Spaceship Earth got together and had a baby. Like that last scene in Spaceship Earth, they had a baby, but the baby has superpowers. It's amazing. You come out and if you're in
cool.
space, again, no spoiler, you're in space, you feel like you're floating. You feel like you're in space. And they're playing great music at the same time. The first time through, I had September by Earth, Wind, and Fire, which is my favorite band, and that was amazing. The second time was Tears for Fears, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. which is fine. It's fine. And it's a fantastic attraction. It really is good. And if I know there's some concern over motion sickness, some people are worried about the spinniness or something.
Yeah.
I think the weight, it does turn 360, but it's controlled. So they're turning you most of the time. It's not like a free turning kind of thing. It's not like a tea party kind of spin. It's nothing like that. It's not
like what we have in Disneyland
pivot.
Paris with Crush's Coaster, which is a spinning.
Yeah.
No,
it's not like that.
No.
Apparently.
So I think unless you have severe motion sickness or you get disoriented easily, I think then maybe you need to prepare for that. But I did not have that experience. I avoid Mission Space Orange, not because I can't do it, just because half of the time I get off and I feel a little like, not great. This is fantastic. This is the smoothest coaster I've ever been on too. Wow. Like there's no head flip-flopping. This. I feel better after this than after Everest.
Ooh, okay. That's good.
Fighting talk.
Yeah,
that sounds grand. And I think as well, and I think this is already, things I've read and things I've heard about it. Unusually, there isn't that clamour of people wanting Ellen to return, with the universe of energy, So it's unlike Harmonious, Harmonious, where everyone wants Illuminations back, and it's not the same, is it? It's just it's not right there. Ellen's not coming back. She's gone forever.
Well,
hopefully
she's in a different attraction. That's all.
Yeah.
After that, we did Club Cool, drank some Beverly.
But the Russian Sprite's the best.
Is it still there?
I hate to say that. It's an invasive soda.
Yeah, in these current times, and they're still allowed to serve that.
I felt a little wrong. Like, should I be drinking this? But no, it's really good. It's a cucumber
Sprite
infused
really good.
Sprite. It's really, really delicious.
It was nice.
But the best is the woman that we were kind of standing around the machine, around the water cooler kind of conversation. Like, Claire, what did she say?
So Jason had walked off at this point, and she was just talking to me, and she's drinking this Sprite. And she's like, I'm not sure about it. It doesn't taste like our Sprite. I don't like this one. And I had to stop myself. I was like, no. And then I can't even go there. It says it on the label. So it was obviously a surprise. I don't know what she thought she was drinking, but cucumber
communist
Sprite.
Right? I mean, you have to look past all that. It's really delicious, worth trying. But as a plug incredible. For the Disney Springs experience, if you go to Disney Springs and they have the Coca-Cola shop, if you go to the top floor there, gives you a beautiful view. I don't know if Claire would like it so much, but it's a beautiful view of Disney Springs. And they have you can buy the international. Yeah, I mean it's what is it?
$16, I think.
Like that's a
16
wonderful
sodas.
experience.
Yeah. We had a walk around the Connection shop, the new What Was Mouse gear. I really like it. It was bright, it was cheery,
really
it was
nice
airy.
Yeah.
Didn't smell like mouse gear. It used to smell. I bought some bits and pieces. Bought a hoodie for Millie, and
I found a lot in that shop when we were there in November that I could just buy.
She gets in the longest queue possible. They have a mobile checkout.
I was going to say, did you not use the phone?
I tried to tell her, like, you have a mobile checkout.
So the man who served me was adorable. He was like 110.
After you waited 15 minutes.
He was very
And I'm standing over by the mobile checkout where there's no one. There's no one.
He was very sweet.
I said, I'm just going to go out in the wind tunnel.
You did. You said, I've got to wait outside.
You were keeping a cast member employed, weren't you, Claire?
What about the mobile checkout person?
He was very attentive, and he took forever to pack everything into a bag, but it was fine. But it was good, and we walked through Connections Cafe afterwards, which smelt really good, but we didn't have anything to eat. Met up with nice guy Zach Brown, turned up to spend some time with us, which was great, and we rode Test Track. Now, John, you'll recognise
I know what you're going to ask me here.
Right. When you ride Test Track, the aim of the game
is to have
to win.
the most ridiculous
looking car.
Thank you.
Yes.
So Zach and Jason were very polite, and they said, no, you make the car. So we get the three of us to the thing. And I'm just like, am I doing this? And they're like, yeah, you do. You're here on holiday. You do the car. Right. Right then.
For the record, I didn't say a word. Not a word.
There were noises. There were noises.
It's like just the noise of the eyes being rolled when they saw the design of the car. Yeah.
I could hear it. There was heckling. There was eye rolls. There was heckling. The whole thing. John, this thing was a beast. It was beautiful. It was a coupe. It was wide wheels. Had these wheels that were stuck out. It was purple with sparkles and a big blower on the back. It was great.
Blinged up car.
Right.
That's it. Yeah.
It was truly an awesome car. It was one of the best I've ever made. And I finished it with like a minute to spare as well.
Yes, she did. I was don't you want to work on it some more?
No, I'm
Me,
done.
I'm like, it's
I know
not
when it's right.
perfect
It's right.
No, because there were still.
Did you score high?
We still had some things that were above 50% still. So I was like, no, you got to get it below. It's too efficient.
10% efficiency and everything like that, isn't it?
It had a hybrid engine. It was fine. And
petrol.
Can we let's just check in as to whose car? You know, you and Dak both had cars stored on your magic bands.
No, I
don't
didn't.
know whether. Yeah, you did.
No, I didn't.
You checked your magic. Yes, you did.
Well,
It was
I
ugly
thought
and
that
red.
the signs are random.
Right. It doesn't matter. It was still on your wrist. At the end of the attraction, you know when you go and check who the score at the end on the big screen?
Yeah.
Whose car came out top, Jason?
I have no idea because I don't even know what my car looked like.
You were so appalled by my car. You didn't even look. I beat them both.
I think I was
There
appalled
you
by
go.
I was appalled by the
absolute
hubris.
bars.
But I think I was. It was
That competitive streak kicks in once again.
Maybe we need to do this for the Waffler's Arms, actually.
So my car was 206.
We should do some sort of league, test track league.
she remembers too.
Yeah.
She can't remember
I
what she
remember.
ate, but she remember. Wow.
Yeah,
206.
we should do a league.
Did you take a picture?
That's
of
your
it?
challenge.
I think
No.
my highest has been about 212, but don't quote me on that. It's been a.
Well, there you are. When you're there.
I'll try and beat 206.
Okay.
And then we walked around into World Showcase and just had a catch up with some other people. So Michelle came and Jason's mum came, and then Mary and Kelly and Bruce and Marcus and Emily and all the people came. And we spent the afternoon walking around World Showcase. I had a beer, just the one. Had a grapefruit vice beer. It was nice. And it was refreshing. It was quite hot. And then we did Impressions de France.
Which is still lovely, and I got to cheat.
I thought I got away with it. I thought I'd got away with it, to be honest with you.
I was really
Still never
nervous.
done
It
it.
started till later in the day. So at 6:30, I was
Guess
like,
what?
it won't started
It was
yet.
packed, John.
We're in France.
It was packed. It was. I was like,
It was heaving.
Yes!
What are all these people doing here? Have you got nothing
"It's the
better to
best.
do?
There's hope.
So-
Ratatouille's
for
round the
this
corner.
world."
Go and have a
Was it-
break.
Well, that's probably what it is. They've all just done Ratatouille and then they just need some air
Or
conditioning
they've got
or something else
confused,
to
thinking
do.
it's Beauty and the Beast.
John,
That
I
was
didn't
it.
know.
I was going to ask, was it raining? That's the only time
No,
I've ever seen a
It
Disney
wasn't
theme
even
park.
raining. I
It
don't know
was
what was wrong with these people.
Wonderful to see this. It was like it restored my soul. It restored my hope in this world. And I was so nervous because, for me, it's like going to church. So I did not trust that it was going to be a church-like experience sitting next to Claire.
That's the first time I've ever heard it called that.
I know.
Yeah.
And he was
there are a
so
lot of churches.
worried
There
that
are
I
a
was
lot of
gonna
church
ruin
seats
it.
So I was right, and I really like to sit in the back row, right in the center. That's the spot for me. And I get real anxious about getting that sweet spot. I mean, 9 times out of 10, I get it, but sometimes it's aggressive. And with this, we had a crowd of
Just
people.
imagining
I was
It was
sweating.
really
I'm like,
busy.
how many of us were there? 10? It was.
Yeah. It was just
I'm
more
like,
and more people
how am I
turned up.
possibly going to navigate this? I just decided, you know what? I'm just not going to worry about it. We get what we get. I won't get upset. It's just that. And then at the last minute, I realized something. I realized that we were with the person in a scooter. And because of that, that person would be able to get the row behind the back row, where I've never sat. And so we proceeded to go. I went, I'm with her. And the cast member says, "How many?" And I said, 2.
Literally like that.
And everyone else was like, wait, what are you going? Oh, Mary and I are back here. See you guys.
You have a good time. I'm sitting back here.
You sit wherever you want. And it was great. It was so good.
And so I sat next to Zach, and
I got a text message from somebody.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
What did the text message say, Jason?
It said, "I can't believe you abandoned us."
In shouty capitals. But it was fine.
It's such
I
a
sat next to
wonderful
Zach.
film.
He laughed at me as I tutted, rolled my eyes, cursed occasionally, and giggled at all sorts of things that I find truly appalling about that film. And I'm glad I didn't ruin it for Jason, because I wouldn't want to do that.
So, John, have you seen it?
Yes.
So we're the only ones who
We've
haven't.
not seen
Yeah,
it.
and I've got.
Yeah.
And now we've admitted that you know it's going to drag us
I know,
on,
but
right?
I know, but
I do have to admit,
Not
that
in-
it's 15 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back.
Thank you.
13 minutes, and it's a joy.
It put me off going to France for life.
And at least in 1981. And if you track your heart rate, like there's no way you finish that attraction without your heart rate like dropping.
Is that because you're falling asleep?
No, it's
Sleep.
because
Yeah,
it's so
it is,
it's
Becca.
so meditative. It's so calming.
The soundtrack is beautiful. So
Yeah.
the music is lovely.
and the scenes are pretty. I don't know what's not to
The
like.
seats are relatively comfortable.
No, but the scenes are beautiful. It's a wonderful theater.
It just needs an update. If you're going to do it, update it, make it relevant.
I don't
It's
think
not.
if they did an update of the exact scenes, I don't know whether that'd be exact the same.
Well, you
No.
can't sue
Or
Notre
I'd
Dame.
be-
No, you can't.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I have to say, my view is that you should be able to plus it, and there should be a wine flight that goes alongside it. So you could have a different glass of wine for each of the regions. That would make it bearable.
Now we're talking.
Or a beer flight, if that was your,
Yeah.
that
like
would
that.
make
We
it
did
great.
talk about maybe we could do a party or something. We could like rent the. We actually
the
had.
space out.
Didn't we have
That's
Zach
an idea.
call?
Yeah.
To find out if we
If you
could.
could rent it out for an hour.
Basically, the answer is you can pretty much rent out
Rent whatever
whatever
you
you want for the right price.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have done that for the birthday show.
Yeah. Ben and his unlimited budget. On my $10, I'm not getting a lot. Not even impressions to France. But we went to Canada. We scooted through the UK. Actually, we didn't hang around in the UK. And
You've
then,
seen it too much.
right?
Yeah.
And then went to see the new Canada film. I hadn't seen the updated version. I still was missing Martin Short. Actually, the new film is excellent, and it has the Canada song at the end. It has the original English French "Oh Canada" song, which was
Fab.
we may have joined in very quietly, but it was great. And then some of us went and had some dinner in Tepan Edo. Which was, the food was good.
It's terrible.
The food was good.
It's terrible. It's just normal
Is it the-
hibachi. It's like there's
Is it
no
the
reason
sitting
to do
at
it.
tables with strangers that you're not a fan
Yes,
of?
which from the start is wrong.
Yeah. I think that's the reason we've not done it. Because
Yeah.
I'm not
And-
comfortable sitting with other people.
And at the end, there was a single person who sat next to Claire, and she complained at the end that they didn't say a single. She was disappointed, like they didn't say a single thing. I'm like, that's brilliant. What are you talking about? That's exactly what you
I felt
want.
sorry for him.
No, that's what he wanted. He wanted silence, and
Right.
it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Actually, I could just imagine sitting on your own, having put AirPods in, listen to it in music, have some food.
No, that's a
served in
little
front of
okay.
you.
Don't put the AirPods in.
Then what?
but our hibachi chef, whatever they're kind of what they're called,
Yeah.
he had this weird like I don't know if it was a
Flinching.
tick or
it was like a flinch. It's like, yeah.
He was like at some point in his life he must have gotten cut or he cut himself doing like the things or maybe he's
Flinging
gotten
up
like
the
maybe
stuff.
he's flipped an onion into his eye or something. I don't know. But like every time he would do something, it was like like this little like.
It
I
does
mean, I
not
kid
seem
you
like a
not.
safe
Like,
career for
every
him.
time he does a choo 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 choo. We're dying. We're like,
we couldn't stop laughing. It was really bad, but it was so funny. It
I think it was lost on Kelly and Bruce. They were over there.
But yeah, we were face on to him, and yeah, it was funny. He wasn't having a good day. He wasn't very cheery either.
Oh no!
I think we were last
all right.
table.
Because that usually makes it if you end up with a really good chef, and also if the company that you're sharing the table with are entertaining or at least they'll converse with you, it actually can be quite an enjoyable.
Oh, you did have a conversation with. Was the one that lady at the end?
It was about Jungle Cruise. She didn't know what the Jungle Cruise was, so I was trying to explain it.
Oh yeah, I didn't.
That's
she knew what it was.
for
She just
you.
didn't know whether it was worth waiting for. Remember?
Yeah.
She said, "Oh yeah, we saw that. I guess we should have done. I don't know. We didn't."
Yeah, trying to explain it's a cruise with plastic animals and dodgy jokes. But it's niche and it's great. It doesn't quite.
You have to experience it to understand it.
Yeah. So we had dinner, and then we didn't hang around for Harmonious. Or we'd missed it, I think, actually, thank goodness. But then we went off so Kelly and Bruce went home, but then...
oh, no, I forgot about this.
Jason, Zach, and I
don't really want... Yeah.
You don't want to talk about it?
Well, it's kind of like it had all this promise, and it ended up being like, meh.
We did go over to Kimonos at the Swan.
Well, we were stuffed, so you can't eat anything.
Yeah, and it was nice. There was karaoke.
But there was karaoke.
Wonderful.
So Zach and Marcus did karaoke.
Make you sing? That's what I want to know, Jason.
No, Zach and Marcus both sang.
But I was scared the entire time that they were going to somehow submit my name with some song attached to it. So I was constantly checking Zach's app to see if they had submitted something.
And luckily, I couldn't download the app because it didn't work on my phone. Even with a VPN, it wouldn't let me download it, so I couldn't.
Oh
no! But it was fun.
It was kind of an empty. It was half empty, so it's not the same.
I think if you were with a big group,
you need a big group
of people that know each other. It would be fun. And Kimonos is a very nice restaurant, but it is not set up for karaoke. So it's set up like a restaurant. So it was a bit strange. If they'd had like a lounge area with some sofa, there were some sofas. We sat on some sofas. If they'd had them sort of around the karaoke area and then the restaurant seating elsewhere, it would have felt more appropriate. But no one wants to sit eating their sushi with someone wailing a whole new world badly in their ear.
I had a thought there, Claire, though. If it's stopping Brits from actually downloading the app, is that just a way to prevent tourists from actually having their British tourists from having their moment of karaoke glory?
That's what it was. They
that would be
obviously
a
saw me
shame,
coming.
though, to avoid that.
But that was Saturday. So this is like we're 2 days into the trip, and we've done all of this stuff. Sunday, I went off to the outlet and spent a lot of money at Bath and Body Works. And then I went over to Hollywood Studios in the afternoon. I went to Woody's Lunchbox and I had the vegan tachos for lunch.
Oh, was
that was an experience. They were vaguely edible.
I've had that experience, Ben, with you.
Yeah. They were vaguely edible.
Yeah.
I also had a raspberry, what do you call it? The raspberry lunchbox tart.
Oh,
yeah.
That was so sweet. And it was just like this sugared paste. Oh my goodness. It was like, if you're feeling tired, go and get one of those because that'll keep you going for hours.
We've had them for breakfast from there.
I could
just
not
because
eat
it wakes you up.
I could not eat it. I wanted the lemon one. They'd sold out. So I got the raspberry one thinking it'll be a little bit, because raspberry's a bit tart sometimes. Yeah. This thing, it was just sugar overload. I ate about a third of it and the rest went in the bin. I just couldn't. But I did, after it started raining, so I looked for a ride that had an indoor queue. So I went and did Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. I think that was probably my favourite attraction from the whole trip.
Yeah.
It is
so good.
So unique. And the ability to see different things every time you ride, I think, is probably amazing. I loved it. And
Ben, you're shaking. You guys liked it too.
Loved it. It was
so good.
It's one of my favorite. Instantly became one of my favorite attractions, which is a little sad to say because I felt
Great Movie Ride was amazing.
Yeah.
I just love the aspects they've kept in the queue when you go through it. It's a
They
nice...
really did a nice job of kind of melding that together.
It's clever. It's really clever.
And it's got the re-rideability, so you can just go over and over and over again.
Yeah. And I think probably depending where you sit in the attraction, you get a different experience each
Absolutely.
time. I'd love to
Absolutely.
have done it again, but didn't have time. So I think it's definitely up there in the top few for me now, and it would be one that I go for first. Hollywood Studios is not a park that I feel very drawn to. It's not my favourite place to go because there's nowhere decent to eat.
That's true.
Yeah.
And Star Wars is not really my bag. I'm not a massive Star Wars fan, and then everything else has got a big queue. So it's never the
Tower
park
of
that I
Terror
go.
is there, which is the best attraction.
The height
Yes,
thing.
I'd agree with that.
Close your eyes.
It's never the park that I go, I've got to go to Hollywood Studios. It's the one where I'll go there for half a day if I have got time.
But you went to the wrong half, because I agree that Hollywood Studios is still a half day park. I know that Chapek doesn't want to hear me say that, but it's true.
Yeah.
I don't think he listens.
I think if you go at like 3 p.m., that's the best, because Hollywood Studios is just magic at night.
Yes.
Magic.
It is nice.
And I don't even know
night.
if Claire's ever experienced it at night.
I
It's
have
amazing.
No.
Oh,
Has there been to
it's-
Phantasmic?
Toy Story.
I've never
Land.
seen Phantasmic.
You don't even need to see. I mean, like, Phantasmic's great. It's better in Disneyland, but
Yeah.
it's still great. It is.
Yeah.
The evening in Hollywood Studios is just it's just beautiful, and it's
Echo
you
Lake.
got to do it.
So that's
Toy Story Land.
that's a future
is-
trip. I think
yeah.
that's something I've certainly come away from this trip with a whole list of things that I still need to do. There was no way I was going to cram everything in, and there was, so I'm now compiling my list for my next trip. I did go over to Galaxy's Edge. I literally walked through the whatever you call it where you enter, and hung a left and went straight into Rise of the Resistance. I didn't go anywhere else into Galaxy's Edge. I didn't go over to the Millennium Falcon. I didn't go anywhere near all of that stuff.
It's lost on you anyway.
No, do you know what? It absolutely is, because I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. I wouldn't necessarily know what I was looking at. I've seen the movies, but I'm not gonna.
That being said, it is an amazingly immersive space. You don't really need to know anything about Star Wars to enjoy the space, and that is yet another space that is dramatically different from day to night.
Yep.
And the feel of the space. If Claire, for you, I would say you go at night, because they can enjoy the attractions. You can sit out there on a bench and just listen to the sounds.
Yeah,
and walk around and
exactly. I would
And
like
find Big Little Chicken.
Yeah.
Yes, I didn't go and find Big Little Chicken. I'm sorry. I'm sitting over there.
Yeah.
But I did do Rise of the Resistance. The queue, I did the standby line, and it said 75 minutes, I think, and it was still raining at this point, so the queue is all inside, so that was quite handy. I was off the attraction within about an hour. So, and actually I didn't expect that the length of the attraction, so where you start doing stuff rather than just standing in a line, it takes about 15 minutes. So the attraction experience outside of the queue line is lengthy. I enjoyed it. I thought it was very clever. I think the attention to detail and the way in which it's put together is brilliant. Does it have rewrideability for me now I know what's going to happen? No, probably not. If you're a massive Star Wars fan, I can see why you'd be like, completely blown away. I found it exciting. I thought it was very clever. Am I going to stand for 90 minutes to do it again? No. But that's okay. I've done it.
Okay.
And then after that, I headed back to the hotel, got changed, and then I went out to dinner to Citrico's with Jason and Michelle, which was fantastic. I had a lovely dinner at Citrico's.
It's nice.
The decor is beautiful now. It's not the mind-jarring that used to be there. Grand Floridian's so beautiful anyway. But going to Citrico's was brilliant. The food was outstanding. The service was incredible. I had a mushroom arancini with some truffle, which was really great. And then I had the mahi-mahi, which was also delicious. And the apple rose dessert, which has got marzipan. And oh my goodness.
That sounds nice.
she didn't eat the ice cream. There's a coconut milk based like ice cream that is served with it. It's also like an almond flavored thing. It's so good. It's so good.
But I don't really like ice cream very much, and I don't like hot and cold together very much. So I didn't eat that. But I did eat the apple rose, and it was delicious.
I tried to make at the end of this trip. I tried to make a Venn diagram of all the to figure out what foods she would eat right?
Oh, it's
But I have to
not
make
that
a list of all the
bad.
things she won't eat, right? And have these overlapping circles and so forth. I didn't have A3 paper, so I couldn't even really get it all to fit.
I am not that bad. There are some foods that I don't like, and they, avocado.
I think there should be a new segment on the show called "Would Claire Eat It?"
Yes. Okay. Well, we'll go with that. We'll have that conversation.
I like that.
I think,
Yeah.
The answer is no.
She's not the only fussy eater in the panel,
No.
so
No.
That is true.
But Citrico's was lovely. It was such a, and it had classic Orlando thunderstorm while we were sat in the restaurant, so we were able
Big
to
time.
watch people
She
get
loved
wet.
that.
watch other people running through the rain. And yeah, so that was Sunday. That was fun. And then on Monday, I did do Genie Plus on the Monday, and I went to Magic Kingdom for the day. And that was incredible. So I texted Jason when I got into Magic Kingdom. I was just like, I love Magic Kingdom. And I'd forgotten how much I love Magic Kingdom until I'm there. And I walk in and up Main Street, and I didn't tear up, but it just felt right. It wasn't particularly busy at the time. I got there about 8:45 in the morning. I'd already got a lightning lane for Big Thunder Mountain at about 10:30. So I was like, I'm cool. I don't need to rush. I'm here on my own. I can do exactly as I want. And it was fantastic. I was able to just wander around. So I went over into Tomorrowland first, and I did People Mover, and I did Buzz Lightyear, and then I wandered around into Fantasyland, grabbed some breakfast, and then I went over and did Big Thunder Mountain. I got quite a few attractions done actually, because I managed to do that. I managed to do Pirates of the Caribbean, Tiki Rooms, yes, and sang along.
I'm so happy you did Tiki Room. Yes.
I love the Tiki Rooms, and it was really busy. It was full, and a bit like Impressions de France a couple of days before. I was like, do these people know what they're coming to? Have they just swayed in here without realising what they're doing?
And they're part of a tour group, and someone says, you must go in here.
Right. But it was full, and people were singing, and they were clapping along, and I was like, this is great! Feeling the love for the Tiki Bears. And I love it. And then, what did I do after that? I'm trying to remember. Oh, I went for lunch. I went and did the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse, climbed to the top and back down, obviously. And I went to the Jungle Skipper Canteen for lunch. Now, this is the only table service meal that I did on my own. I was a bit anxious about it, sitting in a restaurant on my own, thinking, people eyeballing you, thinking, look, she's got no friends and family. And yeah, right. But that's what people think. And even in the hotel the night before I travelled, I didn't want to eat in the hotel restaurant on my own. So I actually took some like cheese and bread and stuff and sat and ate that in my. How sad is that? I sat and ate that in the room on my own, because I didn't want to sit in the hotel restaurant on my own.
But I think it. But
you could have been a business traveller.
You did it, and was it bad? Was it a bad experience?
So I think that particular restaurant, it was fine.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would have gone and sat in Citrico's on
you
my
should
own.
Stop. Well, why? I mean, I don't think it should stop people, especially if there's bar options. Like even at Citrico's, there is the lounge option.
That would have been okay. But
same with Chico. There's so many good restaurants. I wouldn't dissuade somebody from traveling alone over that. I think you can.
But Skipper Canteen was
a good book.
Skipper Canteen was good. I did have a really good look around the restaurant as well, and they have these bookshelves on the way to the bathrooms. They have these bookshelves that are full of hysterically named books. Oh my life! I was stood there for about 10 minutes. I ordered and then I went and had a look around, and I was just standing there laughing out loud. People must have thought I was a complete loon. There's like the book. There's one called "Poisonous Fish" and how I discovered they were poisonous. It's just so clever. And the bottom shelf I've got photos, so I'll put them in the Waffles Arms, and they were, brilliantly named things that are all, they're all puns, and it was great. I had the tofu, I had the pineapple tofu, a crew stew, which was fabulous. It was really tasty. I had a really good lunch. And then it kind of changed dynamics a little bit, because Jason came and met me after that. And I said very kindly, I'll walk down Main Street and meet you. No, don't do that. Don't. What he doesn't know is I was already at the hub. I was almost at the Main Street Bakery. And he said, no, don't do that. And I was like, oh, okay. So I turned around and went back.
Well, I was saying, no, I didn't say don't. I said don't.
You did.
I don't
You
want
said,
you to
"No,
waste your
don't do that."
time walking back up Wayne Street. Like you're here for one day.
So
You're like just.
But I was
go.
already.
I didn't know that.
No, I know you didn't. So I turned around and I went, well, where should I go?
It's not very British. British. I expect. Oh, she's still gonna do it.
I did.
mean, I'm being polite by saying, like, don't worry about it. And no, of course she's still gonna do it. She didn't do it.
No, I turned around and I went back up into Fantasyland. No, I didn't. I went into Liberty Square.
Yes, you did.
And the parade
Guess what
was
you did,
on.
John. Let me ask you a question. If someone was coming to meet you in the Magic Kingdom, and they were like they're coming into the park, right? Where would you go to meet up? I mean, like if you're like, I'm gonna meet up with somebody. Where would you go if you're not gonna walk up Main Street to meet them? What would you do next? How would you spend the next 15 minutes?
Standing at the train station or somewhere like that. Somewhere obviously
just taking it in. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just what she does? She gets on a boat.
I went and got on Liberty Bell.
How can I
get as far away as possible?
How can I get this on?
Don't come and meet me. That's fine.
Just sail away.
Right.
You literally said like
Orinoco flow by end.
Right.
Yeah, sail away, sail away, sail away.
I'll come and meet you. No. Don't come and meet me. I need to get some food on the way past. Fine. This is how this is going to go. I did. That was literally what went through my head. How far can I get? So I had a great ride around on that paddle steamer. It was so nice. And then when I got off the boat, Jason was there, which was fantastic. And we went and did Tom Sawyer Island, which I have never done before.
Amazing.
There are some things there that are fun. Mm-hmm. I can understand that, for kids, they would love running around. And you can't really go anywhere, so parents could sit at they have some like picnic tables and stuff. You could sit there and say, right, we're staying here, come back, time check, you've got 10 minutes or whatever. You can. The caves are quite cool. They're not as cool as the ones in Disneyland Paris on Adventure Isle, but they are quite cool. And there are a couple of bridges.
High bridges or
no, they're not high. No. They're not high.
One but apparently is like, any bridge.
So one is a suspension bridge, which does move, and one is a barrel bridge. Now, Becca, have you done the barrel bridge at Disneyland Paris? Because it's quite often shut. You know the ones that when you step on it...
Every time we walk by, it's closed.
Yeah, and there's a reason they're closed. Because they're horrific.
And I've gone, no.
Someone's done the health and safety risk assessment.
Right.
They're lovely. And they're like these super fond memories from my childhood I have of this. From like when I was 3. I remember these.
Yeah.
And
scarred for life.
No, affectionately. It's amazing. John, we need to go together.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There's so many fantastic
I'm looking forward to this. You're coming.
I'm not sure whether I am or not.
Rebecca, I was so polite. Jason's like, we'll go on the barrel bridge. I'm like, okay.
You didn't say no.
That's the British thing, though. We just don't say no. We just go along with it.
She got on the boat, Ben.
That's true. It's like getting as far away as possible.
So
I knew you were going to make it go over the barrel bridge.
Right. I wouldn't have got off the boat if that was the case.
I was going to say, with the boat, it was how far you'll go. It's like Moana.
Yeah.
I do love Moana.
So I got on this barrel bridge and I'm like anxious because things moving. First step and this thing goes like this. I'm like, oh my God. So I slowly edge my way forwards. Jason gets on behind me. He's like, bang, bang, jumping up and down, making this thing.
No. I wanted her to have the full experience of the barrel bridge. She's like, I don't think she knows how it works. She's like,
I know. I know how this works.
I'm like,
yes, that's exactly what you did. I did get to the other end. Unscathed physically, mentally not so much. But yeah.
How did you get back?
You didn't have to go on. We didn't have to go on the bridge at all, in fact.
Yeah, you
could have bypassed the whole thing.
You have to experience it.
Good to know.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But we did Tom Sawyer Island. That was fun. It was fun.
We went into the fort. We went into the Fort Longhorn, and she wouldn't pick up a rifle. they have the rifles up in the crow's nest where you can shoot, from the, and they make sounds and everything. It's like free shooting. It's like you don't even have to pay. It's just she wouldn't touch it. I'm like,
no, not my thing.
Where is it COVID? There's like no.
But I did make you go through the escape tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fit, and it was fine. I was worried. I went through one this other time. Last time I was in it was like full of kids. I mean, like just full of them. And I got to this point where like I couldn't figure out where to. Like I'm like, I don't know that I can fit through. I don't think I can get out of here. And I didn't want to do it again. But I did it. We did it. It was fine.
And then I was really lucky. I got to join Jason for the Monday night Here With the Magic live show on Facebook. So if you haven't seen it, you can go to Here With the Magic on Facebook and you can watch that show in 2 parts because the Wi-Fi or the cellular data died at Winnie the Pooh.
The Wi-Fi was a bit poo.
It was a bit poo. I have to say, I watched that show back on the plane on the way home and it was so funny. There were some really lovely bits. We got to see Enchantment and that was incredible. And do you know what? I have a new love of Enchantment. I loved Wishes. Didn't ever see Happily Ever After. Enchantment I just found was so beautiful. The use of Main Street, the lights on Main Street, it's quite overwhelming when you're stood there. I really enjoyed it. And
like Jason, you mentioned about harmonious. I think the problem with Enchantment, but the problem is the dessert party.
The location.
Yeah, because we did.
Yeah, if you're not on Main Street, then you wouldn't get.
We didn't get that experience. And then
even in the hub, even without the projections on Main Street, you still have a good experience from the hub, but it's not from the dessert party. You can't.
It wasn't as good. So when we were in a few days later, we did Main Street. It was a completely different experience, even though there was a lot more people. But do you know what? It was amazing.
I don't really like crowds very much. I don't like people very much, but I don't like crowds. But we were sandwiched in the middle of. Well, Jason stood in front of someone with a tripod and a camera that had been there for about 2 hours, I think. But we scooted in, and we were in the middle of Main Street, and it was just.
I had 40-some people with me.
We did. We were
gonna
live
scooch in here.
And so go back and watch that show. The whole evening was fun.
It was fun.
We had a great time. And then afterwards, we went over to Trader Sam's and had an Oa and a Nautilus and the interactive beverages.
We met up with Zach and Kristen.
We did meet up with Zach and Kristen and we had lots of fun.
We've never been to Trader Sam's.
No, never been to.
And I nearly lost my phone. I left it in Trader Sam's. Why did I leave my phone in Trader Sam's, Jason? What was I doing?
I don't know. What were you doing?
I was making sure that you didn't forget your backpack.
I was testing you.
So I picked up Jason's backpack because he'd forgotten it and gone.
And then she all cheeky. She was like,
but at the same time,
I know she was ready to say like, "Oh, look, you forgot your bag."
I was going to be
and before
so
she
smug,
could say it,
the man appeared with my phone. So
wow.
I was all ready to be smug.
Oh no, that's horrible.
But yeah, so that was the Monday, and then the Tuesday I came home. I went into EPCOT in the Tuesday morning. And it was busy.
Whirlwind.
It really was a whirlwind.
Would you do a solo trip again?
Absolutely. I can't wait to do another solo trip, to be honest with you. That's not because I don't want to go with my family, but it's just such a different experience. I didn't have to plan. I didn't have to stick to a schedule. I didn't feel like if I didn't do something, it didn't matter at all. And actually, I was probably really frustrating because Jason's like, "What do you want to do next?" And I'm like, "I don't care. I'm just glad to be here."
We were like that in November. It's like we have no plan. We just go with it and just.
That's it. It was incredible, and I really appreciate the amount of time that Jason and Michelle and Patricia and Zach and all of these people made to make me feel welcome, knowing that I was there on my own. So I had so much fun.
This community is amazing.
It really is. It definitely is.
Yeah.
It was nice to see you. It would have been nice to see the whole family, but it was nice to see that you took the time to do it. And it took a little bravery, I think, to be able to do it.
Yeah. I'll definitely do it again.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. So it was, I'm still recovering from it.
Me too.
I have a little sleep deprivation issue to work through.
And I'm still a bit jet lagged, but that's okay. I'll get over that.
And in about 10 days' time, we'll be arriving in Florida.
Yes.
10 days from recording.
10 days from recording.
Yeah, I feel mightily jealous because I know that whilst I still haven't got a trip booked. Every
John,
single
come
time.
on.
I know. I need to, Jason. I need
Come
to.
on already.
I've
Yeah.
already had the chat that I'm not allowed to do a solo trip.
Well, they don't need to know, John.
That's
What
fine.
do you
Just
want
take
them to know,
Alison.
John?
Business trip.
That's right.
John,
Yeah.
just take Alison. The boys are old enough
know.
to stay at home and live
Yeah,
off
yeah, I
themselves.
think so. I think so. And I think Claire's example of going just going for 4 or 5 days. It's just being back in.
It wasn't enough,
place,
but
it's just being back there, isn't
never
it?
enough.
It's just being back in a place that we all love, and I
Yeah.
think that's the bit that, I think for anybody listening to this who hasn't been since, like myself from 2019,
Yeah.
you do start to get that urge, and it's like an elastic band, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
The further you stretch it, the more it's drawing you back again to Florida, and
actually, you know what, John? Having been there this week, come back. We're recording this like 3 days, 4 days after I come back. I could go back tomorrow,
Sorry.
yeah,
no question.
Yeah. Completely.
yeah, that's it.
Thank you for
That's all-
joining us, Jason.
Oh, it's my
been-
pleasure. Thank
I
you
know
for
that you're
not just
busy,
having me
so-
here, but having me. I thought she was going to tire of me at some point.
I was just being
Again,
British.
I know that now. I realize that, and I was like, maybe.
Wonderful.
It was fine because it was interspersed with
You're
other
just being
people, so
polite.
it was okay.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, I can't wait to come back.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I had the opportunity that I don't usually take. I have the opportunity, but I don't usually take it to just experience the park as a guest. To just to not be recording things, to not be. I mean, we did some streaming, obviously, but there were large swaths of time where I just didn't do it. I didn't take
Just hang
any
out.
pictures.
Yeah.
I didn't
No?
record any audio. I didn't.
Oh, wow.
She took more pictures than I did. I think. I just enjoyed it, and it was great. It was
It
great.
was fun.
That's fabulous. What a trip. What a trip.
Yeah.
And it's been lovely chatting to you again, Jason. And I hope we get the chance to do that a little bit more regularly as
Me
part
too.
of
Hope so.
our shares of Waffle. It'd be
Love you
quite a
guys.
nice thing to
Yeah.
keep catching up with you every few shows and stuff like that. But yeah,
Brilliant.
massive thank you.
Yeah.
Claire, you've inspired us all.
John's going to go and book a
Yeah.
trip.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'll get my noisy computer out again.
Yeah.
There you go.
Looking up flight prices as we speak.
Yeah,
And thank you for
exactly.
letting me talk about it because I know that I can talk about this trip forever, over and over, and I'm sure we'll do a show about solo travel at some point. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's loads I haven't told you,
Yeah.
loads of stuff that we haven't covered,
More. Oh, goodness.
loads more. But we're
Lots
out
more.
of time.
Lots more.
That's all the incriminating stuff.
Lots more waffle to come.
I thought we were going to talk about that. The wet seat was bad enough.
Maybe we should do a podcast live on location one day.
Yeah, make sure there's a wet seat.
Yeah.
3 bridges.
Oh wow.
Fabulous. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. It was a great show.
Yeah.
And as always, until the next time, waffle on.
Waffle on.
Waffle on.
Waffle on.